Hi, I'm Arunima, and today I will be talking about the study Why is There More Crime in Cities? In this paper, researchers Glazer and Sacerdoti use a decomposition model to identify the various attributes that affect the relationship between city size and criminal behaviors. According to the 1994 Statistical Abstract of the United States, metropolitan areas have 79% more violent crimes than any other American cities, and 300% more violence than rural areas. The researchers used 3 different parameters to test the relationship between crime and city size. These 3 parameters are as stated below: the probability the police are able to apprehend the criminal, the pecuniary returns from committing the crime, and location-specific individual characteristics such as socioeconomic status, education, family structure, or other social determinants that are more common in urban environments. Identifying the elasticities between these factors in crime in cities can help guide policy proposals meant to address crime in cities. Lawmakers can provide better answers and solutions to the problems that plague this issue. How can we make enforcement of laws more effective? How can we make crime less attractive or less profitable in these cities? And can investing in programs to improve education and encourage healthy family structures be effective at lessening crime rates? Moving on to a positive analysis of the study, a regression run using the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting and controlling for underreporting finds an elasticity of 0.24, meaning a 10% increase in city size is associated with a 2.4% increase in reported serious crimes per capita. There is a clear connection between the density of cities and the rate of crime in cities, meaning that the characteristics that separate rural and urban areas will be instrumental in determining the reasons. The question that is answered in this study is, what is the magnitude of the effect of the 3 parameters defined on the city crime connection? Is there one prevailing reason, or will the issue be equally distributed among parameters? Moving on to the normative analysis, policymakers need to address the reasons why crime occurs at much higher rates in cities and create multifaceted laws that take into account all aspects associated with this connection. The study will answer the question: should lawmakers prioritize addressing the root causes of urban crime such as poverty and inequality over simply increasing police presence? Is there a solution to the city crime connection, or is it just an inescapable function of increased population density? So, moving on to the economic analysis of the study, the first parameter that is addressed in the study is the probability of apprehension. The probability that the police will apprehend the perpetrator of a crime decreases as city size increases. The density in the city makes it difficult for police to work as efficiently as police in rural areas that probably know everyone in the suspect pool. So, the empirical results of this paper: the paper uses 2 definitions of the elasticity of crime with respect to the probability of arrest due to a long-standing debate between the efficacy of the 2. An ordinary least squares regression says it is negative 0.5, and a 2 squares regression says it is negative 0.2. These are both defined as deterrence elasticities in this study. The first 3 regressions ran found that after controlling for city-specific factors and underreporting, the elasticity ranges from a negative 0.3 to a negative 0.13. The 5th and 6th regression run suggest that lower arrest probabilities in larger cities are not due to inefficient spending on police or lack of police effort. Now, to determine the magnitude of this effect, we are using a benchmark elasticity of negative 0.08 and a deterrence elasticity of negative 0.2. The lower probability of apprehension explains about 8.33% of the total crime effect of urbanization. If the elasticity is assumed to be negative 0.5, then about 20.8% of the crime effect could be attributed to lower arrest probabilities. This basically implies that as city size increases, the probability of arrest decreases, and the magnitude of this relationship and its effect on the city crime connection is small but still consistent among all the factors. The second parameter that is addressed in the study is pecuniary returns. So cities have unique characteristics that increase the economic incentive for crime, such as low transportation costs, increased interactions between wealthy and poor, increased pool of victims due to density, and greater flow of information about potential victims. Looking over the empirical results, researchers were basically interested in using the same deterrence elasticity mentioned in the previous slide and connecting that with the elasticity of crime with respect to pecuniary benefits. After running multiple regressions controlling for city level and victim or crime characteristics, they determined a benchmark elasticity of 0.11. This suggests that the connection between crime and city size cannot be completely explained by higher pecuniary returns in cities, although it could explain some of it. Elaborating on that a little more, after using the benchmark elasticity, the relationship between city size and benefits of crime explained about 10% of the connection between city size and crime. And then when deterrence elasticity is negative 0.5, then it can explain about 33% of the city crime connection. Okay, moving on to the third and final parameter discussed in the study. The last parameter evaluated is basically the idea that people with greater propensity to commit crimes due to factors such as education and family structure live in cities. So the researchers hypothesized that city demographics can also play a role in the connection between crime and cities. Looking over the empirical results, the key variables run in the first set of data obtained by the NSLY are characteristics of the offenders such as age, race, gender, single-parent households that are headed by females, willingness of the people to break rules, and so many more factors that are just kind of individual characteristics of each person who could live in a city or who do live in cities. The coefficient determined by the regression model is a 0.07, which means that looking over the magnitude of this effect, these individual characteristics explain about 29.2% of the city crime effect. Interestingly, single-parent female-headed households emerge as a very significant determinant of the elasticity. Moving on to final conclusions, ultimately the study found that the three parameters used explain between 50.9 to 83.3% of connection between urban areas and increased crime. The researchers concluded that the city crime connection is an extremely complex issue, and the reasons for it occurring are numerous and varied. Even the three parameters used in the study could not fully explain this effect. Moreover, the researchers provided a roadmap for future research, specifically mentioning that more research is needed on the effect of single-parent households on crime. They also recommend investigating whether urban environments contribute to the creation of single-parent families or simply attract them. And they also talk about examining other unexplored factors, such as social cohesion and informal community sanctions, that might explain the remaining urban crime premium. Thank you for listening.